Hello everybody, welcome to Scotty D Gaming. I'm Scotty D and today is my updated and final Ultimate Elessa Pet Beastmaster build. So I want to give a big shout out to Seb, who commented on my last video letting me know that if I got access to a single piece of equipment I could increase the damage on my build massively. So I went and formed that piece of equipment and here we are. I've made a build around it. So you're going to want the Starlight Set if you're a Beastmaster, because it gives your creatures 100% more damage, gives you an extra familiar, and makes your core of the spirit skill improved and no longer require skill points. And all that means is that you can summon 4 Dryads at a time at once without them disappearing. Permanent Dryads. Now the next piece of equipment you're going to want is the Executors. These are amazing. A percentage of health regeneration is added to damage dealt. Now because of this we're going to need to change up a few of our passive skills and our god tree to maximize this. This is where our damage comes from. The rings that I'm using are the Ring of Guardians, 2 of them to reduce cooldowns on critical hits. The bow I'm using is the Pact Bow that summons a small Dryad every time I hit my familiar, which is demonstrated here. It's just more meat shields easily. And the amulet I'm using is the Amber Talisman. Using the potion reduces all current cooldowns, and that is it for my gear. Now for the stats on gear, I always prioritise 4 stats in this order. Cooldown reduction priority, second one is damage, third one down is cost reduction, and the last one is critical hit chance percentage. So that is the list of 4 in order what I prioritise when choosing gear. So I still haven't got the ideal gear that I would want, but I've prioritised it in that order. So my base stats at the moment are 74,600 base damage with a 20% critical hit chance. That's what I was aiming for. This is not a critical hit chance build, it's strictly a base damage as much and as high as I can get it. And as you can see, because of my cooldown reduction I've got 46.7% and my cost reduction is 45.7%, so pretty much my cost and cooldowns are slashed in half passively by my armor and stats. Okay, now sensible place to go now would be onto the god skill tree to show you how to get the skills and regen that you need. You're going to need to go down the right hand side of the skill tree up until you get the Queen's Wrath mastered, and then you're going to need to spend a further 3 points to get Blessings of the Forest mastered. And then once you're there, follow on from Blessings of the Forest up towards this node. Now the reason we're doing this is this adds more passive health regeneration there and here, for a total of, you're going to get the rest of the health regeneration by getting to these nodes. You're going to get a maximum 5% health regeneration from the skill tree, which seems trivial, but it's significant considering the health regeneration that we're going to have is in the thousands. It's going to add a lot, and this also benefits our damage via the daggers. Now on the left hand side of the skill tree, you can actually do what you want with the left hand side of the skill tree. The only reason I'm here is because I wanted Defiler's Reckoning Superior, which is quite far in. So all you're going to do is go up the left hand side all the way to the top, back down until you get Defiler's Reckoning. Once you do this, you're going to have 4 skill points left over, and I've spent them here just to boost damage. 2% damage there, 2% damage there, there and there, and that's it. That is the skill tree. So I've got plus 22% damage, plus 5% health regeneration, and everything else just came to us getting the skills we needed. Now for my skills. Passive skills is the Lone Hunter mastered, the Hallowed Spirits mastered, and the Blessing of the Forest mastered. So all of these pretty much increase damage or health regen. The Blessing of the Forest mastered increases health regen passively by 4,000. Lone Hunter mastered increases health regeneration and critical hit chance as long as an enemy isn't nearby. And when it says when an enemy is not nearby, it means not directly touching you. As long as an enemy isn't touching you, you're going to have this bonus to health regen. And the Hallowed Spirits mastered, every time a summoned creature hits an enemy, damage is increased cumulatively. Now how this works is, every time your creature hits an enemy, it increases your base damage up until, I think the cap is, on my build anyway, 151,000 base damage. I don't think I've seen it get past that, but maybe that's just because I haven't had an enemy last that long. Okay. Now for regular skills I use the Sureflight Arrow mastered, the Queen's Wrath mastered, Master Archer Superior, Reflex Shot Mastered, Defiler's Reckoning Superior, and the Call of Spirits, which is the heroic version, because that's what our Starlight set gives us. Now, as a little explanation, we use the Queen's Wrath Master to plant in Area of Effect, Poison Area, and Health Regen Area. That slows enemies. It gives us a boost of nearly 10,000 health regeneration, which boosts our damage. Master Archer Superior, the reason why I like this is because I can just hold this down, shoot enemies. It's going to do plus 50% damage to enemies that are slowed or rooted, which every enemy will be slowed or rooted. And because it attacks very fast, it's going to have an easy chance to crit and reduce our cooldowns further. And the Reflex Shot Master, I use this, which is the one that pierces through enemies. I like this because I mainly do boss hunts, and bosses do raise pillars. If I just cast this, it kills all the pillars in one hit, and I can get back to concentrating on killing the boss. It's also great for group control if you're fighting regular enemies. Defiler's Reckoning Superior, again, my Dryads that are summoned with this poison enemies, and I can summon a maximum of 5, where the other skills don't do this. And the Call of the Spirits Heroic, I can summon 4 permanent Dryads, all that root the enemies, and the root also works on the boss, making it useless. It's so good having a boss not be able to defend itself. That's the build. I've tried to get over the build as fast as possible, so I'm not wasting your time. But what I will show you is, by default, if you do the build the same as what I've got it here, your Executors are going to give you plus 329% damage, and your base damage is going to be 74,636, give or take, depending on your equipment. It's going to be around there. If we cast the Queen's Wrath, is it called? Queen's Wrath, our damage from the daggers is going to be increased to plus 569% for everything, which makes our total baseline damage 116,398. Now, for the purpose of showing you how this skill, the Hallowed Spirit's cumulative damage, works, I'm just going to go into a Chaos 3 boss. Let me do that. I want to go into a Chaos 3 boss and show you how that cumulative damage does stack. So remember, by base, when we've got all of our buffs up and ready, we're getting approximately 117,000 base damage. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to get as many Dryads on the floor as possible, including my permanent ones. Right, what's my damage at the moment? So there you go, my damage just from how my creatures have been hitting the boss, I'm at 134,000 damage, and I'm pretty sure it caps at 151,200, we'll see. Let's check it again. There you go, 151,200. I don't think I've seen it get higher than that. I think that is actually just a hard cap in the game, but there we go. And the boss is dead. There we go. Anyways, Chaos 3 didn't last very long, and we still got, we've actually got quite a bit of loot. Starlight Helmet, Starlight Tunic, and Wildhunt Talisman. I'll see if they're any good. Right, so this is just a quick demonstration of how to use it. You can beat Chaos 5 bosses with this pretty easily, but the only risk you've got is Chaos 5 hits really hard, and you can get single shot or 2-hit shot. Let me just check. Starlight Tunic. So no, that hasn't got my prioritized stats. I'm not using it. Now, that's quite good because it's got 918 damage. But remember, my priority is cooldown reduction first, then damage. If I can get a talisman that's got cooldown reduction and damage without cost reduction or percentage critical hit chance, I think I'll take it. But for the time being, I'm going to be using that. Okay lads, so I hope you've enjoyed the build. It's definitely a Chaos 5 viable build, although I definitely wouldn't recommend running Chaos 5 regular enemy expeditions or relic hunts, because it takes too long and they're too hard, especially if you run it in the snow. The enemies in the snow levels in Nausicaa are so fast, and they've always got them banner people healing their opponents. It's not fun trying to whittle their health down. I'd say I have the most fun on Chaos 4. In this build is definitely a Chaos 5 boss killer. Easily, no problem. Right lads, hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to cut the video here and I'm just going to tack on some footage of me killing some Chaos 5, killing a Chaos 5 boss, just so you can see it in action. Right lads, hope you've enjoyed it. Okay, here we go. So this is just a quick rundown of me killing a Chaos 5 boss, to see how easy it is, or how easy it is to die if you get hit. And we're using the exact same tactic as I did in Chaos 3. We just have to be a lot more careful when the regular enemies are spawned. All I'm doing is I'm just watching my cooldowns when it's ready, and bish bash bosh. Now he's going to spawn his minions now, so I'm going to be ready for that. And use this skill. And keep out of the way of it. I'm going to get in close, cast this. And once the minions are dead, we can just go on to beating the boss as normal. Just gotta watch out for those purple balls. Watch out for the purple balls! Yeah, I just think the minions are so much more dangerous than the regular boss, for whatever reason that is. And the boss is going down to Chinatown, he's dead. There we go. Hey, we've been pretty lucky on the loot front, like, look at that. Queen's Tunic, Eternity Helmet, and the Cleansing Talisman. There we go, so that's Chaos 5 demonstrated with this build. It's pretty impressive. And the base damage you can get. Now I don't know if I've actually mentioned before, I just did enchant or bless all of my equipment with raw base damage. And that's it. Right lads, see you in the next one.